Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. As most of you know, the coroner from Teton County, Wyoming, gave the results of Gabby Petito's autopsy, and it was deemed that she died from strangulation. This slide will be information pertaining to her death, a recap of what was said by the coroner earlier today, and information from FBI agents, former FBI agent, I believe a former FBI agent, their opinion on what they thought she passed away from even before the ruling came in, the information came in. There will also be audio from her parents. And then I will discuss the situation. How did it come to this? How did she get there? Hi, May. How you doing, sweetheart? How did she get to this point of being strangled? How in the world did she get to this point? And what now, since the autopsy has been revealed? Will there be enough evidence from Gabby Petito to lead to an arrest? And will the arrest be Brian Laundrie? Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all so much. Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, Soul Survivor. Thank you, sweetheart. Hope you all are well. I was trying to get on a little earlier, but I was house cleaning, getting out the old. Got some more to do tomorrow. Tomorrow are the clothes. Yes, Queen is getting ready for winter. Downsizing a lot of stuff I brought in that I decided I didn't want to use. So I'm now donating all that stuff to charity. Cleared out the refrigerator. I did everything tonight. That's why I am exhausted. I cleared out the cupboards, as the old people would say, the refrigerator. Queen has been a busy bee this evening. Yes, Lord. Try to lighten the mood a little bit under the circumstances. Thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring you commentary that was uploaded on the 11th. This is by Fox News. This is someone's commentary pertaining to what they thought was going to be in the autopsy report. Teton County, Wyoming coroner Brent Blue on Tuesday will hold a virtual press conference regarding the final autopsy report for deceased Gabby Petito, officials said Monday. Remind you, this is a day-old commentary. The FBI on September 19th discovered Petito's remains at a dispersed campground in the Bridger Teton National Forest. Blue later identified the remains and ruled Petito's death a homicide in his preliminary autopsy report. The press conference will be held at 12:30 Mountain and is limited to members of the press, according to a Teton County spokesperson. The final autopsy report will likely include Petito's time and cause of death, which may help investigators determine who killed her. Petito's parents reported her missing 8 days before her remains were discovered. The 22-year-old was traveling cross country in a Ford Transit van with her fiance, Brian Laundrie, when she went missing. Laundrie, 23, returned home to Northport, Florida on September 1st in the van without Petito, and her parents filed a missing person report on September 11th. Laundrie is a person of interest in the case, and his whereabouts have been unknown for weeks. His parents reported him missing in Northport, Florida to the police on September 17th. On September 23rd, the FBI issued an arrest warrant for Laundrie, accusing him of bank card fraud. Authorities alleged at the time that he used an unidentified person's Capital One card and the personal identification number to charge or withdraw over $1,000 between August 30th and September 1st, during which time Petito was still missing. And that is the said information. I thought there was something else in there that I was wanting to bring forward. I guess that's not the article. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm going to bring you something by Mr. Dog the Bounty Hunter. I was trying not to talk about him very much since he's out of the picture for a while, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this commentary, see if it has anything of relevance. This is by OK, True Crime. Dwayne Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman claims Gabby Petito was overheard yelling by vacationer, says Brian Laundrie would grab her mouth to silence her. In an interview with The Sun, the TV personality claimed to know that, which I don't know how he would know that, but anyway, that's another story. Claimed to know that Petito was very verbal. Hold on one second. This thing's jumping off. Now, I don't know what's going on. Well, see, now it's doing all kind of stuff. Hold on. I don't know. Since last week, these phones have been acting really strange. Okay, hold on a minute. It's very weird here. Okay. Thank you for joining me. No, I'm not talking about folding clothes, honey. I'm talking about throwing them out, donating. Okay. As I stated, in an interview with The Sun, the TV personality claimed to know that Petito was very verbal during alleged altercations with Laundrie, who was suspected to have been physically abusive to his now deceased fiancee. Chapman, the star of Dog the Bounty Hunter, has been on the lookout for a 23-year-old fugitive who went missing after he returned from a cross-country trip with Petito. Just days after Laundrie was last seen, 22-year-old YouTuber was found dead in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming, where the pair had been traveling weeks before. Now Chapman believes he has discovered telling details about the couple's relationship as part of the thousands of tips he's received regarding the case. As they were arguing one time, the vacationers around them heard her yelling. Chapman explained in the interview, "I know that he calmed her down, usually by grabbing her mouth like that," he said, while imitating the action and aggressive grabbing his own cheeks. "When you grab someone's mouth like that, they're verbal," he continued. "So we have another thing that says she was loud, she was verbal, quote unquote." As OK previously reported, Laundrie and Petito were pulled over back in August after a 911 caller claimed to have seen the fugitive allegedly hitting Petito. The body camera footage from the police officers at the scene of the incident showed a sobbing Petito claiming that Laundrie had grabbed her face and left a cut on her cheek after trying to get her to shut up. Chapman appears to be taking into consideration the contents of the body camera footage, along with tip calls to make the claim that the relationship was abusive, and he has no doubt that Laundrie had something to do with her murder. "I think that something happened. Of course, he murdered her," Chapman told the outlet. "I think he called the mom and dad right from the scene." The famed bounty hunter previously expressed the bold theory that Laundrie could be a serial killer because of his demonic past. "I'm thinking more and more about him being maybe a serial killer, not just a killer of Gabby," he said last week. He also insisted that the fugitive's choice in literature could be the reason for his allegedly violent actions. "This is what happens when your kid is looking at those kind of things," he said in reference to the dark books that Laundrie read. "He overnight just didn't become a killer. A killer is made, and he is built to be, or she, a killer." That's that information by OK, True Crime, pertaining to Dog's assertion. So basically, he's saying he knows that this man has been abusive to her, that he would grab her by the mouth, and that the position that she would take to lower the chin, what's been said, is a defense mechanism for somebody making sure that a person doesn't grab their throats. That was said in another commentary. It's very interesting information. People come about things. So now we have to ask ourselves, who are the vacationers now that heard her yelling? What day was this? When was this? Because I haven't heard anything in any of the sources that I've brought to you that vacationers heard her yelling. So are we talking about at a campground, park? What are we saying? Very interesting information. Okay, let my phone load up because right now she's not wanting to do right. Okay, trying to make sure I find everything. All righty. So much. I have so many articles. I have to try to keep up with all of them. Okay, hold on. And I want to let everybody know that follow the cupcake story. It was 2 years ago today that she had disappeared in Birmingham, Alabama. For those of you that follow my content and follow the story of Camille McKinney, better known as Cupcake, out of Alabama, a 3-year-old baby girl at the time. Today marked 2 years that she had went missing in Alabama. And so far, there's no update pertaining to Jericka Brown and Patrick Starworth going to trial. Okay. I'm trying to bring up something new here. I'm going to go ahead and I think it's something I already posted to my post because I can't find it. Somebody, an agent, suspected it would be strangulation. It's very strange why someone would assume that would be her death, her manner of death. I don't know if I posted it to my community post or it's in one of these audios I'm going to play for you guys. Thank you for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $BigAngie 129 Cash App. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and play just a little bit of the audio from the press conference, and then I'm going to play other audio breaking down the autopsy report. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Brent Blue, the coroner.
Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is following the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear me. Just 1 second.
Should I start over then? Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is following the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Hi, Brad. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually more law enforcement folks than than our office.
Okay, Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopus, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Hi there.
Did you know you can receive free cell phone service?
Sorry about
That's
that.
right. Thanks.
Commercial. I didn't think this was going to happen in commercial. Sorry.
The reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
Is there another question?
Brian Enton. I believe you're unmuted right now. Okay. Steve Fabian.
Yes, hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact, are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about her remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Chris Vivian, do you have your hand up?
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there.
Question. Dr. Blue?
Yes.
It's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial, and I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they use the semantics, he was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment about any suspects because we're not involved in that part of the investigation. We are only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work, and I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
Hey there, doctor. This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are four possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the four choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death, the scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered, or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI, because we're not allowed to release that information.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn? We have Brian Enting in the chat who has a question. What's your question, Brian? Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
KSL assignment, you are unmuted. KSL assignment.
Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with the law enforcement or the FBI.
Matthew Sella. Matthew Sella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from DailyMail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology reports? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by what I shoot, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
Thomas Tope.
Hi, Doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
WPBF 25 New.
Hi, Doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
Jeremy Kopitz?
Yes, doctor, thanks for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Washington statute.
Was there any other cause of death?
I got $34,246.
Oh, sorry. Commercial. They love playing those commercials. This is Jeremy Kopitz asking the question.
Possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death. But this is the cause of death that we determined.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
The manner, nothing is obvious in a situation like this. So a detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, we just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon. You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
I can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our board in Teton County, Wyoming.
Anna Gregorio.
It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if, from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle-solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination.
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious, and so the cause of death required an investigation.
We have a William Walke.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives and aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Francis DeFiore.
Yes, hello. This is Francis DeFiore from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly you determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is JB Buno on WFLA Now. We're going to go back to the Zoom call here in just a second. We do have an update from the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Stephen Bertolino has issued a statement. That's coming up here next.
We have the Snack Squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
Yeah, I can't comment on that.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email or phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question. Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
The law enforcement to make that determination.
The questions, they're killing me.
Great, thank you.
Thank you all. I'm going to cut that off.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
Because you see, Dr. Blue's letting them know I'm ready to go. I ain't got time to keep talking to y'all because y'all, I can't answer nothing. That's the gist of the story. If you want to go in, you can get this information from WFLA News 8 News. If you want to hear the rest of their commentary while they talk amongst themselves. But basically, the doctor couldn't tell anybody anything except that she died of strangulation. She was out there 3 or 4 weeks. He can't tell you how she looked, what was seen, not seen, if her body was intact, how her hair looked, how she was positioned on the ground, under the ground. He can't tell you anything because it's an open investigation, and all that information is kept quiet, and it's Wyoming law as well. He cannot reveal what was seen. And as he told Mr. Walsh, John, I'm very disappointed in you. Why are you asking this man 2 times the same damn question about Brian Laundrie being the suspect? It's not the coroner's job. He's not the detective. His job is to analyze the body. That's it. That's all he does. Hate to say it. Opens you up, looks, puts the notations on paper. That's it. That's all the coroner does. It's not for him to decide who was with her, who said what. And then John had the nerve to go and say, oh, well, you know, I'm old school. And well, the doctor's older than you, and he don't give a damn. He's there to tell you about that she died from being strangled. I was stunned. I was like, damn, John, really? Wow. Lordy me. But that's the sad information of the the Teton County coroner, Brent Blue. If you need information, shut your mouth, honey. Woo, Lord, let me bring you some more information. All right, thank you all so much for joining me. Okay. I'm going to bring you information from a former FBI agent, and they're going to chop up the situation in their opinion. Know that this information is only a person's personal opinion. You can find this in the YouTube queue. News Nation Now, my new station I watch now for information.
With us as we learn new details and developments. Jennifer, it's always good to see you. You say you were surprised that the coroner came out today and released these details about the autopsy. Why is that?
I was surprised what can happen considering that move. Specifically, now we know that it was strangulation, throttling, and that is just so significant for down the road as witnesses come forward, as people are providing information regarding details that could lead up to this strangulation point. In other words, did they find out it was a strangulation by what the coroner said, or did they have separate information that they knew prior to this release?
I'm curious, Jennifer, do you think that the FBI was on board with the coroner releasing this information today, that they were working in tandem with one another?
I don't believe working in tandem per se on the coroner's decision, but it's obviously the coroner's, he's delegated that authority to make that decision. Thank goodness he is kept in check, if you will, by Wyoming state law, that he could only release so much, and that was the specific cause of death and no further details, thankfully.
Well, and he went into the fact that he isn't required by law to release any details. So the fact that he was coming out and speaking and releasing anything and then taking it a step further and answering questions from the media, many found surprising. Could this be a sign, though, based on your experience in the FBI, that the FBI may be closing in on Brian and having this information may be helpful?
I believe the reason he came forward, he intimated during his interview. He was calling the circumstances regarding this autopsy a media circus. He seemed a little bit irritated, at least from my view, as to all the attention that is on this case. And I think he wanted to relieve some of the pressures from the media as well as the public by getting out there what his office had decided as the cause of death.
So since you bring that up, I want to remind people of what the coroner said, and Brian had this in his piece as well, but let's play that soundbite from the coroner today, where he seems to discuss domestic violence cases, other cases out there that have gotten a lot of attention, or not gotten as much attention as the Gabby Petito case. Let's listen to this.
Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are frauds that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
So it didn't appear, Jennifer, there was a lot of time for the reporters to follow up in the Zoom setting of this press conference, but this did not get missed in terms of the social media attention. A lot of people noticed that he said that. So based on what you heard right there, do you think that piece of information slipped? Did it reveal more about Brian's potential involvement in Gabby's death than he may have intended to let go forward?
I think he slipped.
Ooh, they're gonna wear that out.
Saying that,
Lord have mercy.
that more closely pointed the needle toward Brian.
And if you were in the FBI right now and you're leading this investigation and you heard the coroner say that, what do you do now?
Well, they're going to continue doing what they were doing, and that is running a two-pronged investigation. Number one, they are looking for Brian Laundrie, and there is a full-fledged fugitive investigation that is being followed right now. Secondly, they are going to be investigating who murdered Gabby Petito. And they are putting together all the different facets of the information they have right now. And the huge piece that they were just able to add is all the information from that autopsy report. And remember, the coroner did mention DNA.
DNA. Okay, so DNA taken from Gabby's remains. What do they do with that DNA now? How do they compare it? How does it help piece this puzzle together?
That's going to be turned over to the FBI, and they're going to use that to draw comparisons to other DNA that have been found on evidence in this case and at the crime scene.
How about what he said in terms of the timeline? 3 to 4 weeks, her remains were found after she had been killed. What stood out to you about what we learned today and how that impacts the timeline of events as we know them?
I think it is so significant because we know Brian Laundrie returned on the 1st. So the 1st does not give the proper time for him not to have been with her during this homicide.
So if you are in charge, do you go back to the Laundrie family based on what you heard from the coroner today? And are you able to glean any new information from them if some of these timeline and events are not adding up?
The parents are not cooperative. They're not cooperative. They are still represented by an attorney. They have made no overtures other than going to the reserve to look at a couple of trails. No overtures that they're willing to provide information. They still are underneath the cloak of that attorney. And I don't see them coming out from that cloak because of their Fifth Amendment right to self-incrimination. And I believe if they come out, they will incriminate themselves.
And the attorney was quick to respond after the coroner came out today and released what he did, basically saying Brian is a person of interest. He is not a suspect in Gabby's death. The timing of his response, did you find that interesting, or did it answer any questions for you or raise any?
No, I think he had that prepared and ready to roll. So I believe they found the information out at the same time that all of us did, and I believe he had a prepared statement ready to shoot out.
This was a big development today in terms of learning more about how Gabby died, and it was heartbreaking to think about those final moments. It has been a month, however, since this has all been going on, and we are receiving very little information day to day. In terms of the public's pressure on this case, is that helping moving forward to keep this in the spotlight and keep investigators going?
It is very helpful to have the media involved to this degree, and this is why. Different information that we would never get, we meaning them, the FBI, they would not be privy to but for these clues coming forward through the media and this media pressure. So I think the media being out there and putting forward these facts and this information is only helpful for providing more leads to the FBI to follow up on. That's crucial for this not becoming cold.
What do you make of the fact that it seems as though the search in the reserve, that swampy mess in Florida, it's not happening anymore, at least not at the intensity that it was a few days, a week ago?
I'm not surprised. I did not believe him to be at that reserve. I think the FBI had to do everything in their power with local law enforcement to make sure that they covered all their bases, that he was not there. But by them opening the reserve, I think that that is a clear sign that they're not going to open the reserve when they believe a possible murderer is there.
Jennifer, I've got one final question for you. And I spoke with a fugitive last night here on Prime, and he said, in order to stay on the run, you need allies. Do you think right now Brian Laundrie has allies who are helping him stay hiding?
I do. I think his attorney is an ally. I think his parents are an ally. And that's all he needs.
Okay. News Nation Now is the source. If you want to tune into their YouTube channel, I do like the information that they bring. Lately, I've been bringing you commentary and audio feed from News Nation Now. So if you want to tune in or get a source of information pertaining to any case, because they cover all types of cases, of course, and news, naturally, please tune in to News Nation Now. That is the source for the information that I just brought you. Oh, Lord. Let me hear this. I'm going to play this right quick. Let me see what they're saying here. Everything comes up.
Strangled by the hands of a killer. Tonight, we know more about the death of Gabby Petito as new facts are revealed from her autopsy. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. It is a big night for sports fans here in the Bay Area, with the Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning raising the banner, dropping the puck for their new season. And, of course, some shocking sudden fall from grace news for former Bucks head coach John Gruden.
But we're going to start it off with the newest information on the death of Gabby Petito as the Teton County, Wyoming coroner reveals the findings of Gabby's autopsy. Justin Schecker has been covering the story from the very beginning. He joins us live in our Tampa newsroom tonight. Justin.
Josh and Jen, good evening to you both. Gabby Petito's parents received word of how their daughter died before the Wyoming coroner publicly released the cause of her death today. Tonight, a major question has been answered about what happened to 22-year-old Gabby Petito. The Teton County coroner, Dr. Brent Blue, says the cause of her death was manual strangulation or throttling, meaning someone attacked and choked her with their hands.
By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released.
2 days after the discovery of Petito's remains in Wyoming's Bridger Teton National Forest on September 19th, the FBI announced the manner of her death was homicide.
As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found.
Police say Petito had not been seen since August 27th. That same day, this video from travel bloggers placed the white van from her cross-country road trip with fiancé Brian Laundrie in the camping area near where authorities found her body. Dr. Blue confirmed law enforcement collected DNA samples. A USF criminology professor tells us,
they were a couple, and they were living in a van together. So it would be expected that his DNA would be on her.
The attorney for the Laundrie family, Stephen Bertolino, told 8 on Your Side, while Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. Gabby's mother, Nicole Schmidt, responded saying his words are garbage. While the coroner has revealed how her daughter died, the FBI is still building its case on who is responsible.
Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one.
And the coroner says Petito's body has been returned to the mortuary in Wyoming. The attorney for her parents says they're not making any more statements until, quote, they bring Gabby home. And Josh, tonight, the search continues for Brian Laundrie, the person of interest in this investigation that's captivated the country.
All right, Justin Schecker live for us in the Tampa newsroom. Justin, thanks for that.
All right. That is News Nation. Sorry about that. Woo, Lord, so many stories to bring in. Sources of information. Okay. I think I've got one more in my lineup. Thank you all so much. That was News Nation Now. This is information that I want to bring you guys that I brought earlier in the live pertaining to the timeline of Gabby Petito and Brian's venture and what possibly led up to her death. This set of information, oh, mercy. It doesn't end, I tell you. News Nation now.
You know, for weeks we've been talking about this timeline with all of the people on social media, and what the coroner said today, 3 to 4 weeks that she'd been there before they discovered her body, it actually fits into the timeline in an extraordinary way. So let me just go right to it. Let's start with August 22nd. This is the earliest that she could have died, according to the coroner. It's 4 weeks before she's found exactly. But if you go to August 24th, Gabby and Brian are actually seen checking out of a Salt Lake hotel together. So she's alive on the 24th. And on the next day, Gabby has her final FaceTime with her mother and says that they're in Grand Teton National Park. So on the 25th, again, she is alive. So you can knock out the first part of that timeline of 4 weeks. At least you can truncate it by about 3 to 4 days. On the 26th of August, Brian is spotted alone with a white van at the Spread Creek campground by that TikToker named Jessica Schultz, also known as Jessica Over Yonder. That's on the 26th. On the 27th, and focus on this day, a witness account says Brian and Gabby are seen arguing at a restaurant in Jackson. So she could very well be alive on this day if that restaurant episode is accurate. 27th, she could be alive. So you can now knock out more than just a couple of days. You can knock out almost the better part of the first week, right? Now go to that next little part. A YouTuber sees the van parked at the Spread Creek campground. That's the Red, White, and Bethune YouTuber. There's no one inside the van at that point. And the other really curious thing on the 27th, Gabby's mom gets that weird text, "Can you help Stan?" from Gabby's phone. Well, Stan's her grandfather, and Gabby never calls him Stan. She calls him Grandpa. So that does not sound like it's Gabby talking. That's why the 27th is so important. Now go to the 29th. This is 3 weeks to the day before Gabby's body is found. Okay, so we're narrowing this timeline now. This is the latest date that she could have died. And another TikToker named Miranda Baker was driving in the area, says she picked up Brian Laundrie. He's hitchhiking away from the campsite and suddenly freaks out, wants to get out of the vehicle. Still on that same day, a second driver, Norma Jean Jelovich, she's on her way to church. She picks up what she thinks is Brian Laundrie, and he's hitchhiking back towards the campsite. First one's picking him up going away from the campsite. Second one's going back to the campsite. She drops him at the entrance to the campground, but it's a miles-long dirt road. He doesn't want her to go down that dirt road, curiously, says he'll rather walk. Now to August 30th, Gabby's mom gets that other bizarre text saying no service in Yosemite. Yeah, they never got to Yosemite, so that's not true. Then, August 31st, Brian's mom changes the family camping trip reservation. The camping trip in Florida takes it from 2 people to 3, but not 4 people, because eventually Brian would join them without that fiance of his, Gabby Petito, that travel mate that he's with. Nope, Roberta Laundrie doesn't change the reservation to 4 people, just to 3 people. And then we all know on September 1st that license plate reader saw that van coming back into Florida. So Brian, the question I have for you is, when you fit what the coroner said today into that timeline, the 27th of August is looking a lot less like a theory and a lot more like the day that Gabby actually died.
Yeah, to hear you lay all of that out, actually, it certainly seems to make sense. And what I've been doing since we got this new information from the coroner today is trying to piece together what we've seen out here at the house in regards to the last month in combination with this new timeline and what we're hearing from the coroner. And one thing I thought of today, you remember that day several weeks ago when we saw the FBI show up in the morning, they were here about 10 minutes, went right into the back of this camper, had that little vial, took something from inside the camper and then left. And then we later found from the Laundrie family attorney that they were here getting something that belonged to Brian for DNA. Well, that all now fits into this perfectly now that the coroner confirmed today that the FBI did take DNA off of Gabby's body.
Were you recently injured in a car accident?
Oops, sorry
Look
about
at this
that.
check for 100.
Okay, I guess that's all the information. That's News Nation Now, their commentary. I'm going to go ahead and give my commentary. Feel free to hit the link if you want to join the panel to give your commentary pertaining to the rendering of death as strangulation for Gabby Petito. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Feel free to hit the link, and when I'm done, I will let you speak. What was revealed that the coroner could not say? Because I did not watch Dr. Phil to see what the parents said, the state of her body. So either way, it's neither here nor there. What was revealed of the body, the scene of Gabby Petito's death? Has she been ravaged by wildlife? And no disrespect to the dead, but these are things that people are going to be questioning. Wildlife, old injuries, new injuries, illnesses, what she ate. Very pivotal. Please listen to me carefully. What you have inside of your body tells a lot. Food digested, undigested. What did she have as far as stomach contents? Was the body intact? Or was it severed by wildlife, like I said? Was she in the ground, atop of the ground? Was she covered with debris, leaves, rocks? What? See, all those things are going to matter. The position of the body, the position of the hair, as I said, top of the ground, under the ground, buried, partially covered. And the person that came in the chat saying she was propped up against a tree, that's bullshit. There's no way you would know that. The only way you'd know that, unless you were a detective and you were there, or you were the person taking the pictures of Gabby Petito. Stop the foolishness. DNA, fibers on her body, fibers in her hair. Clothes on, clothes off. DNA of Brian Laundrie under her fingernails, inside of her body. Stay woke. Thank God she was not pregnant. In the end, it would not matter because, as I've told you, this was a story that had its own ending, like most domestic violence stories. They both liked each other, wanted each other, and it wouldn't have mattered if they were in New York, Oregon, Washington State, Wyoming, Utah, or Florida. The end result would have been the same. They chose one another. The house of the Laundries was very quiet earlier. No noise, no static. What were you all thinking about in there? What were you all talking about in there? Roberta and Chris. What was the topic of conversation? Oh my, Gabby's been strangled. Did our little boy do that? Yes, he did. I'm going to go on and say he did. He stole her money, so I know he did it. Shut up, Queen. Don't do it. You know I'll get crunk. Oh, Mr. Bertolino, you are a dirty bugger. That statement you gave to the public was disrespectful, considering the girl was deemed strangled by your clients. You had the nerve to tell us what we already knew, that he's only wanted on fraud charges. Well, if that's all he's wanted on, he should be walking around. What the fuck he hiding for then? Yeah, that part. Just asking, honey. Will the FBI reveal more pertaining to the death of Gabby Petito? Has DNA been compared to Brian Laundrie as of the time this report was brought to surface, which was earlier? Let me look at my clock. It's now 12:34 Eastern Standard Time. When will the indictment come for the arrest of Brian Laundrie for the murder of Gabby Petito? Naturally, if there's DNA under her nails, which shows that she struggled, she had broken fingernails. See, these are the things that will seal an indictment. The nails are broke off, skin torn. She fought for her life. She fought the accuser, perpetrator, predator, and it comes back Mr. Laundrie. Then so be it is the indictment. When will the indictment come forward? This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you are indeed struggling with a abuser, please get out immediately. Get all your things fastly, and get the hell out. Life is important. Life is for the living. You do not want to end up a Gabby Petito, Tashina Kyle. It doesn't have to end this way. Get out. Get out. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the death of Gabby Petito deemed as strangulation. I'm not going to mention any other news pertaining to that other thing, Brian Laundrie. I'll save that for tomorrow. He won't be the subject. I'm not going to mention anything pertaining to videos I had lined up to play. I'll play them tomorrow. But tonight's subject is, or this morning's subject is about Gabby Petito and the manner of death, which is strangulation by Mr. Brent Blue, Teton County Coroner out of Wyoming. The state of Wyoming has laws that says that the coroner cannot reveal said information in the report. That is why Mr. Brent Blue could not give you any information pertaining to other factors in her death. But one will wonder the shape of her body, hair, wildlife, how she was lying in the ground, on the ground, side the ground, what? That's that information. And Mr. Dog has the nerve to now tell us she was verbal. She would speak up. Lord have mercy. She was loud. He grabbed her face. She says that to the cops. So perhaps that's what happened. They left that restaurant. He was crunk. She was going off, fussing, cussing back with him because I believe she likes to give it back to him or gave it back to him. And then he decided, I've had enough of listening to this girl. He choked her. Lord have mercy. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion. Hello. The death was intentional. As one of the guys said on WFLA today, to strangle someone is personal. You have time to stop. You see, even if you use the excuse it was a heat of passion, you want to use that passion defense, you have the means to stop. Because you see, shooting someone is one shot. And if you continue to shoot, then people are going to wonder, hell no. No, you just did overkill. But to strangle somebody, you see they are gasping for air. They're clawing at you, face, arms, chest, whatever they can grab a hold of. So you see them, you're looking at them. Unless you're turning your head while you're choking the life out of them, you can stop. So it's personal and it's intentional. You're not going to be able to say, well, I kind of lost control. And that is the reason why I know Brian Laundrie killed Gabby Petito. Because now that we have a manner of death, a personal death, which is strangulation, you left her out there for the animals and the wildlife to ravage her body. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful what you did to her. And to leave her out there for anything, anyone to get a hold of her. Then you went off in her van and stole her damn money. Took her personal effects, which I'm 9 times out of 10 we know you did because her things were in the van. What you disposed of, I do not know. It doesn't really matter. In the end, it's not going to even matter. But you took her money, and that shows me you didn't really care for Gabby Petito. I want you all to listen very carefully to what I'm trying to say to you. You see, the manner of death, strangulation, stealing her money, tells me a lot about Brian Laundrie. You've been using Gabby Petito. You are a bum. You are a bum bitch. Did I say that? I did. Yeah, you can be a man and be a bitch. You're a bitch. You're a bum. And you've been using that girl, and she's been paving the way and carrying you like an infant when both of you are young. And I don't believe in no woman carrying a man. It's undignified. I'm going to say that. It's undignified. I don't give a damn how much you like a man. I don't give a damn that he's struggling. I don't give a damn he just got out of jail. He just got out of penitentiary. He need help. I need help. What you talking about? Give a damn about what you need. Give me. You see, that's why women are suffering now, and they're Gabby Petitos, Dashina Kyle, because you done spread yourself too thin, and you being bamboozled and hoodwinked by nobody, a 1%er. That's why I keep trying to tell folks why I sleeps good at night. I ain't worried about you. I didn't bring you here, and as one old lady told me once, God rest her soul, she was talking about her son talking crazy to her. She told me, I didn't send for you, so I don't care. That's the attitude you got to have out here. Because these people out here will suck you dry. And I've seen men like this bum. Ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't talking about nothing. Don't want nothing. 23 years old, his game ought to be tight. You living in one of the most affluent states in America. You ought to be driving a damn Ferrari at 23. Come on with it, Queen. You ought to be living a high life in a condo facing the water. You ought to have 2 degrees, 1 degree. You ought to be doing something with yourself. But instead, you on the run, and they looking for your dusty ass down in that reserve. I don't give a damn if you stay in the reserve. Matter of fact, why don't you drown your damn self? I'm tired of talking about Brian Laundrie. How about that? I'd had enough of him. I'd had enough of him, Donald Wells. I'd had enough of all of you. I tell you what you need to do is call the hair club for men and get you some damn new hair with your bald-headed tail, with your receding hairline. That's what you do. Why you done stole that damn girl's money and snuffed her out. Yes, Queen woke now. Call the hair club for men and see if they'll send you some hair. You're despicable. Ain't got shit, but want to kill somebody. What a joke. Choke somebody. Well, let me find you and choke you. I've been meaning to put my hands on somebody any damn way. I'd like to choke you. And see how you feel. Gargling. Telling somebody, stop, Queen. Stop. I can't breathe. You can't. Oh, that sounds bad. That's right. An eye for an eye. Punk ass. And your parents, they punks too, because they knew what you did. And I'm kind of like Bounty Hunter. You called them after you killed that girl, your shaky ass. You went on and called her, called your parents. Things got out of control, Mama. Mama, I'm on my way home. She was fussing and cussing, and and then she embarrassed me in the restaurant, and you know how Gabby can be, Mama. Well, come on back, baby. We got you. Yeah, and look where that got you. Folks standing outside harassing you, bullhorn signs, laundry baskets. You paying the piper too, ain't you, Mom and Daddy? Now, are y'all gonna get a divorce now? You see, you spawn that demon. And as Bounty said, he said the truth about a killer. A killer is made. I watched a little bit of a Jeffrey Dahmer story this morning late. And if I believe the commentary that I watched in that movie, he was made into a killer. Because you don't wake up killing animals and wanting to torture people and wanting to beat people up, sodomize people, cut them up. It's all the same. That shit comes early in life. You don't wake up wanting to dismember another human, kill an animal, burn an animal, cut up people, cut up animals. It's all the same. You were made. And perhaps one of you dusty parents got some demon in you. You pass that demon seed on to Brian Laundrie. Sickening. Very sickening. Brendan, I'm killing myself. The truth, honey. I speak the truth. I don't sugarcoat nothing over here. 50 years old. I ain't got that kind of time. Let me tell you something. The queen has lived, honey. When I speak from experience, not TV land and Lifetime. I'm the real deal. You got to watch everything you do, who you talk to, the company you keep, or you'll end up a Gabby Petito, and you can be a Gabby Petito at 60, 50, 40. Ain't no age limit on nobody wanting you dead. You better stay woke. You got old people killing old people. Old men shooting their wives, girlfriends. Crazy is crazy. Ain't no age limit on crazy. There's no age limit on crazy. Period. Narcissism. Pedophiles. Predators. Rapists. Serial killers. It's all the same. You sick, you sick. You came sick, you gonna leave sick. So that's why the age ain't nothing but a number. Hit the link. Lord have mercy. If you want to give your commentary, I'm checking out of here. But that's my said commentary. Gabby Petito's death is ruled strangulation. And the autopsy report, manner of death, and all that death certificate, it's not complete. I feel sorry for her parents. Because imagine wanting to bury your child fully and wholly, but you can't. So I don't know if what they'll do with what remains they have and the shape of the remains. But it's vile. It's disgusting to have to bury a child, period. Let alone not whole. Hello?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, you're on a roll tonight. I'm almost afraid. But I think I wasn't surprised about the strangulation, but oh boy. I do understand better now why they haven't charged him with anything more, because they don't want to let the details out. They got to tie up them loose ends. But he's going to get caught for sure. He's definitely going to go down for this. But good Lord, I can't imagine being his parents right now. They helped him. Or I do think you're right about that.
So what you think? They don't care though. See, that's the point of the story. They don't care.
No, ma'am.
So people sit here thinking now what? They're going to be amazed because they found out she was strangled? They already know he killed the girl.
Oh,
like
yeah.
somebody said, her mama said in an interview. I thought I was going to play that. When she said in an interview, when he pulled up and without her, I knew.
Uh-huh.
Now, who the hell is this?
I think you're right about what that he after it was done, he called the mom and they said they formulated the plan and got involved, got him the lawyer, and they were down to go to help him.
Matthew, turn your devices down, hon.
Me?
Or somebody else up here. Matthew. Yeah, I ain't got time for them games. You picked the wrong queen. Y'all don't want none of the queen today, please.
I know. Let me tell you.
I'll cuss you out. I'm trying to be respectful.
Well, you're on point.
Stay out my lane. I don't play with children.
I'm just trying to give you something to bounce it off of because I know you like to do that. How long do you think
okay, so I got me a fool up here now.
Are you talking about me? Queen, you need to replace Nancy Grace or fill in for Wendy or something. Seriously. I'm telling you.
Okay, you know what, bitch?
Uh-oh.
Hey, dude, you picking the wrong queen. I'm trying to tell you, ain't what you want. I'm not your typical YouTuber. If you checked out my content, you'd have figured that out by now. I sleep good at night. Ooh, Jesus. I don't know who sent you, but I didn't send for you.
I did want to remind you, because I know that you and I, when I was younger, I'm 56 now, and nobody's going to treat me the way that he treated her. Ain't nobody. But when I was her age, oh yeah, that could have happened to me easy. It was, you're afraid to keep
It don't matter. It doesn't matter what your age is. Like you're trying to tell people, the age has nothing to do with it.
But that's what
it's the choice of the person's mindset. A 50-year-old will kill you. A 60-year-old will kill you. If somebody looks at you today and says, "I want you dead," that's all it is.
No, I'm talking about what she was willing to accept. And this, I am the different person at this
But
age.
guess what? But listen to me, because I ain't got to say this now. They ain't got nothing to do with somebody wanting you dead. You could be in agreement. You could be in agreement with somebody, and they still be looking and talking crazy to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's somebody just crazy.
I stayed in a relationship 10 years longer than I should have. It was my biggest regret of my life that I stayed there as long as I did. I should have been long gone. And I'm just saying, she knew she was in trouble. He was on.
She chose. I'm telling you, they both chose one another. That's the point. They both chose one another, and that's the thing people need to accept. She stayed with him. He stayed with her. It's a two-way street. They stayed with one another.
It's just unfortunate she had to pay with her life because she, made. It's just unfortunate. It makes me angry. I mean, I just want to choke it myself. And if that was my daughter,
she may have had her sweatshirt on, sweetheart. That's how they knew it was her. Maybe she had the sweatshirt on. They took pictures. They sent them to the family to say, "Do you recognize?" And she'd say, "Yes, I know that sweatshirt."
That's what he said on Dr. Phil. That's how they identified her.
So that means she had on a sweatshirt.
It was her favorite sweatshirt. And they identified it back in all throughout her van life post. But if they hadn't found her, I wonder what he thought they thought. I mean, if he just left her on top of the dirt like that for dead, and they weren't going to help make him go to the police or report her missing or nothing. They were just going to hoping it was going to go away.
All that proves he intentionally killed her. If you accidentally kill somebody, or your child accidentally fall down some stairs, bump their head, or you with somebody and they fall down, stop breathing, you just gonna leave them there and keep on going and steal their damn debit card. That's why I tell people, that's why you know it's deliberate.
Oh yeah, I think he was rehearsing it in his mind and warming up to the idea and got used to the idea and finally just did it. He done locked her out of the car.
Yeah, he's gonna kill her anywhere, no matter where she was.
Yeah, he was getting.
The thing is, that girl was rolling the dice with Brian Laundrie. That's all. Your background, you got a lot of background noise.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying I don't know what it is. It's something. I wish this other person would get off my stream. I'm not letting you up here, so.
Can't you just kick them out of there?
I mean, they're tired of sitting up there. The leak report. See, I don't get into all that kind of stuff. People kill people every day. That's the bottom line.
A whole lot more than I realized. I mean, it's happening. All of it's so unbelievable. It's almost even hard to believe. But like you said the other night, it happens. They do it. It's real. Like even living out that book in his head, it's very hard to believe. You're like, yeah. But golly, it seems like, he was so infatuated with the idea of, choking her out.
Mm-hmm.
That he finally just willed it to fruition.
Well,
It's going to be like all the other ones, though. Like a year from now, we'll move on
very
with our
sick.
lives, and meanwhile, more people get killed, and we follow other
Well,
things and do other things.
he got down. I don't have time for the foolishness. I don't get up here to play with kids. You find somebody else. Pam, where are you calling? What are you? Are you outside?
No, I'm inside.
You got a lot of background noise.
You want me to go out?
No, I'm just saying it's well. You're gonna have to because yeah, it's a. I don't know what's going on with your with the background, but it's a lot.
Oh, that's all right. It was a good talking to you. I just
Okay, baby. Be careful.
All right, settle
Okay,
down.
honey.
Okay, all right.
Honey, I'm good, honey.
All right.
Okay. I done told y'all about the queen. They ain't worried about nothing. Sure ain't. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it is quiet. That's life. I'm trying to find something that was about the mother. I can't find what I was looking for. Sad, 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 sad. Very sad. Cindy, you have to connect your devices there. Well, this phone is doing crazy stuff. Cindy, you're gonna have to connect your devices, honey. There's somebody that's up here in a box, but they don't have the devices connected. Yes, strangulation is very personal. But I'm sure there are some men who have strangled women and they didn't know them. That's the thing people don't understand about strangulation and stabbing. Those two crimes are deemed personal, but there are many people who have been stabbed many times and the perpetrator did not know the victim. And many people have been strangled. Women have been strangled probably more by a perpetrator. And he didn't know her and she didn't know him. It depends on the method. That's the method they want to use. Let me tell Cindy they don't have their devices on. Hold on. Well, I don't know, Marcy. That's the thing. All this is crazy, honey. I have no idea. But then they said anything's possible. So who knows? Well, you have to follow the instructions. The instructions are very easy getting in the box. It tells you what to do. Turn your cam on, turn your cam off. That's not very hard. I don't know why Sydney can't connect. Sydney, you need to turn your devices on. Mercy. Hello, Bree Love. How you doing, baby? Nobody wants to talk. I have been where that poor girl was, and I know what happens during strangulation. I was Gabby. I woke up. Tina, you are just negative. Do you know that? Negative. Why are you going to say that he's going to get away with it? Why would you even think like that? Jesus mercy. I don't understand. I don't claim that. Well, I don't know what Cindy's got going on. Cindy can't get in the box. Hit the link if you want to join the panel to give your opinion pertaining to the matter of death being strangulation. What else do you think is going to be revealed in the evidentiary material pertaining to Gabby Petito and her perpetrator? Most of us believe that it is Brian Laundrie, that he is the perpetrator. What was left behind at the scene? What the state of the body? And that's going to be even more scary if indeed there was wildlife intervention. Lord, that's going to make it really tough. Because if she was not whole, then we have to ask ourselves what part of the body was left behind. Lord have mercy. I'm about to get sick. This is bad. Whew. Jesus Christ, help me. Very, very terrible. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Well, that's the sad information. Gabby Petito was strangled. Most of us think it was Brian that did this horrible crime to her. And Dog Bounty Hunter has information that some vacationers heard her yelling. So I'd like to know who those said people are and where was she at the time when these eyewitnesses heard her yelling. Oh, man. It's just, here we go. He said, she said. It's very crazy. Oh, my goodness. Please, that sounds horrible. Okay, thank you, Pam. Yeah, it fits the timeline. 3 to 4 weeks. I'm putting it at the 27th. If that's the actual date that she was last at the restaurant and seen The lady's GoPros saw her on the side of the road. Turn your devices down, Reese.
It's down.
Yeah, because I can hear it.
I got it off.
Come on.
Hey, y'all. Well, I'm disgusted. I really am. It's been a hell of a day today, I must say.
That's why I tried to turn it off and watch something else. And I thought, well, watching a paranormal movie, I don't know how that was going to help, but I ain't even finished it. But I decided tonight to just stir around and, go through stuff that I don't need, you know what I'm saying, since it's approaching winter.
Yeah, I played The Sims and I killed my whole family today because I was so discombobulated.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you need to sit down. What the hell? You need to take a walk.
I killed I killed a 10 generation family that I've been playing for a month.
Look, homegirl, you need to go take a walk. You need to go look at some trees, the grass. Jeepers creepers.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell you something. That helps my spirit. When I clean out things, I'm very OCD. So when I re-straighten things, move things around, it really is a daunting task to have, or what's the word? A vice. It can weigh you down. I was feeling weak that I didn't think I was gonna be able to go live, but I feel better. I feel better when things are neat in its place, everything's in its place. And I told myself, a couple months ago, I had moved, so I got a lot of little extra stuff trying to do stuff for my little YouTube room, and then the YouTube room didn't work out because it was other noise on the other side of the wall. So I was like, this ain't gonna work out. So I'm just like redoing stuff. But I'm just one type of people. I like nice things, but you don't need a lot. You tell yourself you need a lot of stuff, but I've been sitting here counting in my head, like, oh, you bought this, you had to get rid of it because you didn't use it. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like you realize you don't need the stuff. You think you need it, but you don't.
But see, it's bad, Queen. I got OCD, and so I clean every day. So there was nothing for me to clean.
I never have nothing to clean either. Let me tell you what I do. This is the only thing I clean the most. It's sweeping because it's hardwood floors.
Yep.
Other than that, I can run the damn vacuum cleaner and pick that stuff up. I don't even know why I don't run it because I got a vacuum cleaner. But I do a little sweeping, a little dust mopping, and I tell myself, man, I'm sick of doing it. I'm sick of doing this.
It's a habit when you're like that. It's a habit. It's a habit.
Girl, I went to the dumpster 2 times tonight. I went to the regular dumpster, then I took some stuff to a dumpster fall off because I do crazy stuff like that. I'm like that crazy, creepy person that be out at night throwing stuff out. And I tell myself, you don't need to be doing that so the police can pull up and be like, man, what you doing at this dumpster? None of my damn business. That's what I'm doing.
Girl,
I'm crazy. So they gonna pull up and say, are you digging in the dumpster? No, I ain't digging in the damn dumpster. I'm trying to conceal some stuff because I don't need nobody looking at the dumpster. See what the hell I threw away. Because these people here knows, you know what folks be doing and they go in the damn dumpster. Girl, I'm not well. And talking about this stuff is definitely not making me well.
It's not. I was real. I'm gonna tell you, I was so discombobulated. This is what happened. I'm gonna tell you how I was set to listen to you live. I was set to listen to that other channel. I can't remember his name, but I was set to listen to 2 lives. Okay. When I tell you that everything and anything started happening, where I ended up getting the information listening to I didn't get it live, okay? So I started seeing things pop up and I'm getting mad. I'm driving, trying to pick up kids from school. And then one thing led to another and I wasn't able to get on to listen to anything. I had to rewind everybody's live and I was livid. And on top of that, my daughter. So, when I say today has been, and I've been up since 2:30 this morning, so that's why I was asleep early because I woke up at 2:30 this morning because I thought I heard something, and so my spirit has just been messed up all day.
Well, clean your closets out. That's what me and EF doing in the chat. All you all out here that want to keep watching YouTube all the damn time, go clean y'all closets out and garages. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. It's the winter closet tomorrow.
I know it's, and all I'm doing is switching around, putting the summer clothes up and bringing the winter clothes out. That's all I have left to do. Because really, when I literally do, I work from home, so it's easy for me to look around and see something that needs to be done.
Right. Well, that's what I'm doing. Because let me tell you something about me. I don't like hoarding stuff and putting stuff in the closet, such as
No.
I've had some nice pictures and stuff. I said, you know what you should do? You should see if some of these fans want some of it, but hell, y'all live in too many different places and I ain't about to be shipping nothing nowhere. I'd have to meet you somewhere and you come pick it up if you live in this general area. But I was like, you know what? I put some stuff in the trunk, like some pictures and stuff, and I told myself, now, put this in your trunk, see if you can forget about it to where you won't miss it. And some of it's on the marketplace too. So far, a lot of the stuff's been on the marketplace for over a month. Nobody's inquired about the items. So it's October.
Yes.
If let's say in a couple more weeks, let's just go to the end of October. Nobody messaged me about this stuff. I'm gonna either go on the side of the road and sell it, or I'm
Listen,
gonna donate.
Soul Survivor said, "Don't be a hoarder."
I'm not a hoarder, Soul Survivor. Trust me, you can turn a cartwheel in here. Queen is down to the minimum. She's Gucci.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't like a lot of stuff. I don't like a lot of
I can't.
paper. I'm very pet peeve about that. Just like the other night when I went to the store, I sat in the car and went through my receipts in my wallet. You understand what I'm saying? Like you don't use your debit card, stuff like that. I keep receipts for a couple of days or whatever. And then once everything's cleared through, I throw the receipts out.
Me too. And I shred the receipts because I'm too paranoid. I'm thinking somebody's gonna be worried about what I'm eating.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I'm worried about the last 4 days. I don't know. I'm just so I'm really crazy like that. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I rewrite stuff all the time. That's why a lot of people back in the day, people come in the house, they'll say, now wait a minute, that wasn't sitting there the other day. You moved that? I sure did because I'm crazy and I move it around 50,000 times.
Yep.
I get really pissed. I just throw it in the damn garbage.
I have a meditation table and I have it in order. I have the little sand bonsai trees and the fountains and stuff in my little meditation corner, and I cannot stand for them to change my table around.
Let me tell you something. The more stuff you have, and this is what people don't understand, especially people that don't like cleaning.
Yeah.
You know you don't like to clean. You know you're not tidy. You need to have less stuff.
Yep. I want to see every corner of my house. You
understand what I'm saying? If you know in your spirit, hey, I don't like cleaning. I don't like picking up stuff. I don't like putting the shoes up. I don't like hanging up my dress jacket, whatever you own. If you know you're that person, you shouldn't have nothing in your house or your apartment.
That's right.
You got to be like old grandpa with a TV, tray table, and a recliner.
I cannot stand. I have to see every corner. I have to see my floor. I cannot stand clutter. Period.
Yeah. I can't either. And that paper gets to me. I went through some paper today, some extra paper I saw tonight, and it was in this little thing. It was silver I bought from the thrift store. It's just something you can put your envelopes in and your file folders. Honey, that thing that went to the trunk tonight. I said, look at you. You can just throw away money because I ain't paid but maybe $1 for it. But the thing about it is $1, $3, $4 adds up.
Look, get them paper
I ain't
demons.
even had the stuff 6 months. That's not good.
Look, get them paper demons out your house.
I ain't got no paper demons. Let me tell you something, honey. The paper demons is right out there at the dumpster tonight. I done made 2 trips to the dumpster where I stay in the dumpster around the corner at the filling station. Honey, Queen was busy tonight. I said, look at you out here like a damn crook driving around.
Dropping stuff. Looking like you dumping. That's not funny.
The police be like, man, what the hell are you doing?
She's dumping.
Look,
oh my God.
MYOB.
Oh my God.
Oh, mine, no, not mine and your, mine and mine. So MM.
I'm glad we can laugh because you know what?
Yeah, MMB is what I'm doing.
Today has been a really trying day for me, and this Gabby Petito stuff, that it really hurt my heart. And I was trying to explain in the chat, you know, it's really gruesome to think about it, but I know how Gabby felt while he was choking her because while being choked. Let me just explain to you.
Now, don't do this.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you because this
Why
is
you
why it
gonna tell
hurt
me?
my heart. This is why it hurt my heart. Your ears start to close.
Oh Lord, girl.
Your
Please.
eyes start to water. Okay.
Well,
You can't hear. All you can do is
okay.
see.
You're killing me.
I'm telling you, I was there again when they told me how she died.
Yeah.
And after that,
you basically said you relived the moment that somebody had choked you.
yes.
Lord, how long did the man choke you, ma'am?
I believe because he picked me up off the ground by my neck.
Okay, so you're a small person.
I'm 5'3".
Okay, you're very small. Okay.
And
How tall was he, if you don't mind me asking?
6'4".
Oh yeah, damn. Girl, please, good Lord.
And I think maybe the experience happened for about, if I can remember, counting maybe 1.5 minutes before I blacked out. And I don't know how long I was blacked out, but I woke up, and I don't think he was expecting me to.
Okay, so did he, after he choked you, did he throw you down or sit you down, or how did he do it?
I was blacked out, Queen. I don't know. I was on the floor when I woke up.
Okay, so when you woke up, where was he?
On the couch playing the freaking Sega Genesis. On the couch playing the Sega Genesis game. I remember.
How old were you?
About 18-ish. 18. I had to be 18 or 19.
Were y'all living together or what?
Yes. That was my first, well, I'm going to say.
I think maybe you mentioned something like this to me before.
I did tell y'all. Yeah. I did tell y'all that was my first apartment. And we were together. This was before my son was born. And we were together 5 years. Living together, taking care of, he was, I didn't have to buy anything. I had 2 jobs. He had 2 jobs. He paid all the bills. All my money went to clothes and putting up. And when it was time to go, he did not know where I was. He didn't know how much money I had. He had no idea that I had a full-fledged apartment. I didn't take anything with me but my clothes, and he couldn't understand.
So whose name was the old apartment in?
His.
I see. I got you.
His. Yeah.
And how old was he at the time?
20. I'm gonna say 24.
And what did he do for a living, ma'am?
He was a security guard and he was a semi-pro boxer.
Okay.
So he got paid to do fights, and he was a security guard because he had to register his hands as
Well, they say that about sociopaths. They like to be in charge. They always apply for jobs, either police officers, and if they can't pass that, they end up becoming security officers. I find that very interesting.
But listen, he was jealous. He was really jealous. Let me tell you what he did, Queen. We living together, and I worked at a grocery store. Okay. We're living together. He sees me get up and go to work and get dressed. This particular morning, he didn't say anything. I went to work, and I'm in what we call the liquor department. In the grocery store, there's a liquor department, and that's where my station was that morning. Do you know he had his job put him there at the store that I was working at, and he didn't say a word to me before I left. A word. Do you know I just kindly walked up to my boss?
What do you mean he had his job put him there at the store?
He's security.
How? They choose that? Girl, please. I can't.
Now, mind you, he knew when I was getting dressed from work that he was getting ready to come post there, but he didn't say anything. I nicely went up to my boss. I said, he can't be here. You need to call his company and tell them it's a conflict of interest. He needs to leave. He can't be here. And they said, why? I said, that's my live-in boyfriend. He cannot be here because I was working in what we call a hood grocery store. And baby, the boys was coming in there. Okay, he.
My God.
He would stand there and he would look in these dudes' faces when I would ring their purchases up. By lunchtime, I said, no, this is not going to happen. He wasn't scared of anybody. He didn't even carry a gun because his hands was a lethal weapon.
Mm.
And I told these dudes that came in there, I said, y'all would have to shoot him. Because he was literally like mad because these guys were talking to me when they came through my line. And I couldn't believe, why would you put yourself there? He wanted to because he wanted to watch me. That's why I said, Brian begged Gabby to come live with them during COVID because he couldn't stand to be on lockdown away from her. So the only way he could keep up with her is to beg mommy to let Gabby come stay while we're on lockdown.
Live hooking up with that boy.
I'm telling you.
Big mistake.
I could not believe it. I could not believe it. But yeah, this is disturbing. And I knew that he was responsible all along. And I kind of speculated that he choked her.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just his MO. That's his kind. He lets me know, just looking at him, his demeanor, the way he looked the same way my boyfriend looked when he was talking to the police about me. But my boyfriend was a little bit calmer because he has self-control because of his boxing and because of his training. And so he was able to maintain clarity and calmness and breathing when he was speaking to the police. So there was no nervousness with him, but he was able to, that mouthpiece, he was able to manipulate them and make them, be on his side and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured that and the way, and no disrespect to Gabby or none of that, but our mouths are big, we scream. She kind of had a whiny voice. When they're punks like that, they can't stand your mouth.
Yeah,
they stand to
Well, they can't because they can't dominate. They can't dominate you if you're talking back. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
They want somebody submissive that'll just say, "Yeah, okay." Even if it means you feel like you have been just, overran and your dignity's taken from you. They don't care. It's, I want you to submit.
That wasn't the first time he grabbed her by her throat. That wasn't the first time he grabbed her by her throat.
That's why they said this guy's got a channel where he shows him basically about to take his backhand, but she's filming, and I think maybe he caught himself. Because a lot of guys like to play like that, but you don't play with people like that. Like you want to smack them, like play smacking. You don't do that because that tells me you would smack me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So 9 times out of 10, he's been doing it, and the fact that he did it in public on the public street on August 12th, that let me know he's been doing that.
That's why I tell my kids, no play fighting. We don't play fighting up in here. We don't play fighting. We don't put our hands on each other. We don't do that.
That means he's been hitting her because he's been very angry to hear slapping her face in public.
Yeah, he's been grabbing her. He's been grabbing on her. And the fact that he didn't care, this is what happened. He didn't care. When he went back,
when he stole the money, I'm telling you, when he stole the money, because this is how I look at it. I wasn't there to see the altercation on the street on the 12th to 27th.
Right.
But when they proved he stole the money off the card, that told me everything I needed to know about Brian Laundrie, that he had been using that girl from the jump. You understand what I'm saying? He's manipulative. He squirmed his way with her, and she's carried him all this time up until death. I know his type. I've seen his type. And that's why I said he was doing that shit to her beforehand, manipulative, probably talking crazy, mumbling shit, complaining all the time. He looking at the way you look, your hair. Why you say that? Why you doing that? Oh, he was miserable.
And they hadn't fully made up when he came back, allegedly, when he came back from Florida.
Yeah,
because
I really don't know what that's all about either, that big trip.
Yeah, because see, I know when me and my boyfriend had those types of fights, we was mad for weeks. Okay. We was mad. We was mad for weeks, baby. I walk around that house and wouldn't talk, wouldn't say nothing to him. So I know they hadn't made up, and that dinner was them still trying to talk and work things out. And things weren't going Brian's way. And so whatever happened with him and the people in the restaurant, he was already irritated.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why
that's just who he is, though. But that's just who he is.
But
it probably doesn't take much for
no,
him
it don't.
to
But
get irritated.
Gabby wasn't saying the right stuff. See, he was already mad. They was already
But
having.
let's be truthful. She probably ain't never said the right stuff. That's where I'm going with this. That's obvious from the August 12th video of the cam with the police.
Yeah.
She steady apologizing. She steady saying, I hit him, did this, I orchestrated this. She's been vocal.
Yep.
She's been vocal.
Yep.
And he probably on that one day, the 27th, which I believe is the jump off of everything. He got tired of her. He got tired.
I believe so.
He got tired.
I believe it. And I believe it just, she was still like she told, I guess, allegedly, I haven't heard, I didn't know she told her mom that things wasn't going right.
Somebody is saying that she told him. But see, that's what don't make no sense. Okay. Once again, you're telling people stuff, bits and pieces of stuff, maybe not the whole shebang, but you had to have known at some point, okay, I probably need to leave this boy alone because this is not working. We've been in each other's company 2 months or so. We're bickering, we're fighting back and forth. But see, she was in a dire situation because she's out in the middle of nowhere and she's not used to driving on her own a long distance.
Right.
So she's in a catch-22. That's why you don't take trips like that with somebody gets crunk. You just don't go that long distance with somebody that you already know is a firecracker. You don't do that.
This boy drove me. Look, he knew I couldn't drive on the highway at this time. He drove me all the way out on the highway and pulled over and parked and said, "We're not getting home until you drive us."
Well,
I never drove on the highway before. And I just looked at him like, really? I haven't drove on the highway before. So we're just going to sit here? I mean, they do little crazy stuff. So it's not like we know that he was doing crazy stuff.
All the time.
She was scared to tell people.
He was unhappy with himself because people like that are very unhappy.
I had military men in my family. My father was military. I didn't tell none of them what was going on. They would have killed that boy. No, nothing said. All I had to do, look, my auntie, my oldest aunt before I was born was murdered, and they found her in the phone booth, shot in the head, naked. My grandmother's oldest daughter. And the men in my family don't play. If I would have told my dad and my uncles what was going on, they would have murdered him. So I didn't say anything. So I know she was hiding every single event.
I just gonna see how at some point it just seems like to me you get tired of that though. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
People.
You do.
My tolerance level is not high. I can put up with a few little things, but at some point, I mean, when they start talking crazy or they're cursing or getting crunk, I just bow out because I already know where it's going. It's not.
That's the thing.
It's not getting ready to go anywhere, so I can't do it.
That's the thing, Queen. Mine didn't. He didn't. He never did. It was just the actions. He wouldn't disrespect me, call me names, none of that. It was my mouth. You see what I'm saying? It was me hollering and screaming and calling names.
So what are you saying? You provoked him?
No, we would get into things about stuff that he was doing things, okay? And we would get into it. And I was very verbal about it all. But because I was verbal, he didn't want to hear it. It made him angry. It made him mad because I was verbal and I was telling him like it is. And I was calling him liars. And I was saying he didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, nobody likes to be called out what they're doing, though. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. And
that's
so Yeah, so that's what made him enraged, and that's what made him go after me every time, my mouth. Because I was not going to just not say anything because I was verbal. I didn't go after him. I never hit him because I knew how big he was. I knew his hands was registered as a lethal weapon. I know I can't whoop no man.
Mm-hmm.
Not that big. I would have to use a weapon. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what do you think so far? You think they're going to issue an indictment now?
I think they want to get everything they can so they can give his ass the death penalty. Because if you come half cocked and you miss your T's and your I's and you slip up, he ain't going to get the death penalty. I know they want that. The family wants that after they hear, or if they don't hear, because he probably won't tell the truth. But they want to come with all their guns cocked. So you cannot arrest them until you got all your guns cocked so you can go after that capital murder. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm going to say. And I'm going to get off the panel so somebody else can get on.
Interesting.
And I know this because, like I told you, I work very close with feds, law enforcement, and I know what they need to get what they want. And if you come half-cocked and you don't have it all, it's easy to get it to go the other way. And if you want something as crucial is the capital murder, you got to have it all. You got to have it all. You can't have no holes in it. You got to bring it. And they don't want to make no mistakes because all it takes is one slip and he'll get life or he'll get something else. He won't get capital murder. And I know that's what they want.
He can't run to Canada because Canada is very strict as far as entry points. Trust me, I already know about Canada.
He ain't running that far because he needs to stay close to the money.
He couldn't get in there anyway because they're strict about you to enter. You just don't enter Canada. I don't know where y'all be watching stuff.
He gotta stay close to the money. He got to stay close to the money.
They took care of that after 9/11. You're not just gonna enter there. They ask you all kind of questions, all kind of stuff. You just don't enter there.
He want to stay close to the money. He ain't going no. He's not going that far. He's not that far. He, like I heard somebody say, he's probably hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, he is, because you got to think about you talking about probably less than a week of planning. So it was dire. It was do or die. Them trying to get him situated and get him somewhere.
Yep.
So they were moving and shaking to get him hidden.
Yes, Wyoming has the death penalty. Yes, they do. And so when these prosecutors come in, they want to come in with all the guns ready, locked and loaded. They don't want no mishaps. You can't, when you going for capital murder, you got to have it all. You have to have it all. Because if not, your case is empty.
I just don't understand how a person thought this was going to pan out and you left her out there where she could be found. You brought her van back. You used her cards. You know, they got surveillance anytime you debit a card or spend money, whatever.
Yep.
I just don't understand his mindset. That's the thing that's baffling to me.
He
thought you were going to get away. I don't understand that.
I told you, he didn't think at the moment. He did not. He was.
Yeah, okay. You can't really use that as an excuse because you did stuff that's too out there. You choked somebody and then you got in their car and then you spent their car. That's where you have the full knowledge knowing he knew right from wrong. You spent the money on the car. You emptied the cards.
But he was high from adrenaline. See, that adrenaline was still racing through his blood. See, all that mess.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, all that mess he was doing, that was impulse. He was hype. He was high. He was, I gotta jump. I gotta go. Let me get this. Let me go. I'm gonna walk. Excuse me. I'm a hitchhiker.
Let me tell you something. This is how you know. I don't know about that because in the commentary I just brought you, they said 2 different occasions he's hitchhiking. So you can't explain that. This is before anything is suspicious with the girl phone call.
Yeah, he was going to hitchhike back to where he needed to go, but in between there, he must have talked to mommy, and mommy said, "Get your ass back to that band and come home."
Hey, Cindy, how you doing?
Hi.
Where you
Goodness.
calling from?
I am calling from Waynesboro, Georgia.
What? Who?
Waynesboro, Georgia.
How far is that from Atlanta?
About 3 hours or so. I have a
Oh, you
daughter
fur-
in Dallas.
Oh, you further south? You further in the middle
Yeah.
of the south? Okay.
I'm below Augusta.
Oh, I love Dust. Okay, what you got to say
Yeah.
about the rendering of her being strangled, man?
Yeah. All right. What I want to tell you was I did see the official document that says strangulation. And then it also
Wait, slow down. How would you see that, man?
okay, on if you go to there's a guy on YouTube that's let me think his name, Fish.
You ain't gotta call his name. I'm just trying to tell you.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well,
listen.
it's public record now. You can download it.
I thought you was gonna tell me you saw it before she died. I mean, before you knew about the death itself.
Oh no, this is after, and he's put it up, but he added to it behind this manual strangulation, throttling. And I'm former law enforcement. I was in corrections, and I've done some investigation years ago. I'm old now, so I'm retired. But
so you're gonna tell us what throttling is?
Yeah. Well, it can mean several things, but normally, in what we saw, throttling would be at, let me put this correctly, an intimate time, and they get off with that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Choking, strangling.
Okay, so what are you trying to tell me? He's having sex with her?
During their intimate time.
He's having sex with her and he choked.
Right. Yes, but this is the thing that I've picked up. I've watched.
The coroner, listen, the coroner didn't say nothing about no throttling.
Well, it's on that report. Yeah, right behind it, there's a slash, and they've added throttling onto it. Now, but this is my thing with Mr. I call him Melon Boy. You know, he's always got that picture where he's drinking out of a melon rind. But, you know, all the books he's into. And all his, the dark cartoons he draws. And the one book, Annihilation, especially, was about 3 women that went into the wilderness and they were killed. Then he goes back to Area X. Well, if you Google Area X, that is St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge, which is only about 4 hours from DeSoto, where Dog was hunting. So is that not interesting? In that book, after this guy kills them, he goes to Area X. And if you Google that, that's where it puts you. Down in Florida, about 4.5 hours from DeSoto, where he went camping with his family. Now, that's one, I'm just saying hypothetically, that's one possibility if he's playing out this book. But Brian was reading some really, really deep, dark books. I've also done a lot of research on the nomad, because they're in that nomad community. And I'm not saying all of them. I want to put that out front. I'm not saying everybody that's into the nomad life does this, but there are a certain group of them that are into the that God is not really the one created this planet, and that it's you go to another dimension when you leave here, but they're into the alien stuff, which is very common for mountainous areas. That I don't know that it's been reported a lot up there, but they're into that. They're into reincarnation. They're into the sun and moon worship. They're very cosmos people. And I was reading up on that when I just searched it one day, and it was talking about rituals. And when you're ready to make your first step, it's best to do it alone. It doesn't go in detail in that article I read, but just in clicking on some of the followers on the Instagram, and then going and looking at some of the van lifers. I don't want to categorize everybody. I don't believe in doing that. But on some of them, they were like, they had his designs on their t-shirts. He also has a design that's got BLM on the book, but that stands for Black Something Magic. So I think that he's got in a really dark place. I think maybe he was a lost soul already. And our Lord tells us in his word, if you're not strong of heart, strong of spirit of God, that's very easy for a demon to enter you. So, I'm contemplating, I'm sitting here and I'm remembering that right after they announced they found her deceased, that he had put on Twitter, I didn't do it. It will all come out. I love you, Mom. To my parents, I love you. So then I'm thinking now, is he maybe
Listen. How do you know
demonic?
Brian Laundrie? People have been pretending to be Brian Laundrie for weeks now. People come in my chat with his name.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
Brian Laundrie.
This was right at first, though. This was actually on the Nomadic Static chat room. The one that he and Gabby had together. It's just but I have never allowed that really dark type movies or books in my house, because I do know that the Bible tells these demons, these were fallen angels, they were cast out. And if you're not strong in the Lord or strong in your spirit and get into stuff like that, it's very easy for that demon to possess your body. And this happens, that's biblical. But I'm not, he did it, whether he was in a state at that time of being in a dark place. Because did you notice how easily, like when he's talking with the officers, he can just smile and he's so cunning and happy acting. And then his sister shared photos from when they camped at DeSoto with him with the boys, and he's just smiling and happy. And there's something triggers him, and it's almost like maybe because of darkness. Gabby was so full of life and light, and demons don't like light. They're the opposite of light. And I almost feel like he has become a demonic spirit. And I'm not saying, to the point that he's not Brian. He is, but he's gotten in a very dark place. And I think that when I saw that, the throttling, then I thought, oh gosh, I don't know. They'd already been through that stop. I'm not so sure he's not linked with Crystal and Kylan. Because he was within a 7-minute walking distance from that hotel. And both of them were found.
Who are you speaking of now?
The married ladies they found around the same time period. Mm-hmm. Remember when they took him to the Bowen Hotel? If you looked at Google, if you'll look at the live Google, where you can actually see, that motel was a 7-minute walk to the Moonflower. Mm-hmm. And that tavern, and Woody's Tavern, was around the block.
Okay.
So that was the last place they were seen, was Woody's Tavern. I don't know, but what two scenarios, Gabby may have found out what he did to them. Mm-hmm. Because I remember a witness saying something about it appeared they were arguing over a phone when they were in that cafe. And
listen. Okay, I gotta stop you now.
Uh-huh.
Where are you getting all this? Nobody is repeating what happened in there because the owner of the business has not allowed the manager to speak about what happened in there.
No, there's one witness that has put out a video.
That girl. Yeah. I heard her say something about he was upset about something. I don't see. This is where I'm getting confused. I don't know what happened in there.
Yeah, I don't either. But at one point, she just said that it was on. She did one by herself, then she did one with her husband. And him or her one said it appeared they were arguing over a phone, that he took the phone, and that made her mad. And
Wait,
that,
slow down. Who was arguing?
I'm sorry I talked so fast. Yeah.
Who was arguing? The couple was arguing?
Yes. No, Brian and Gabby.
And he took her phone.
He took the phone.
See, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. And at that point, of course, all of us following this would normally think, well, he's tired of her being in the limelight.
Oh,
Steady
going
posted.
live. That's it. Going live.
Yeah, right.
Going live.
Right. But I'm almost wondering now if he, being as sick in the head as he is, didn't take,
Okay, but what does that have to do with
pictures.
The people? But what does
that's what I was going to say.
Have to do with what was going on with the people? Because they're alleging that it was over a bill. See, that's why I don't feed into that kind of stuff. Because if you can't get a receipt, I don't get into that.
Yeah.
Because people making up stuff about her being pregnant, well, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
Stuff about he was emptying out stuff out the house. Then it changed to, he was emptying out a storage. See, you can't
I've even heard he's in a bunker in the backyard. I mean, it's people coming up with everything. I do my own.
How's that going to work? How's that going to work? You being underground, sticking your hand up through the dirt like Carrie? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could if they had a proper ventilation and all. I know people that do have bunkers.
But you can't stick your hand up through dirt. That means dirt on top of you. You can't stick your hand through dirt.
No, well, what it is that no, he couldn't have done that. It has only pipe openings for ventilation, and the trap door would not be in the doggone flower bed. It would most likely be under that shed. Go in the shed and have a trap door. But no, I wasn't buying that anyway. But my thing is, and everything keeps coming back with these few people of his few friends through Instagram that were these van lifers that seem to be talking a lot about aliens, and they've got some of it I can't even deal with. They're all planning to meet Halloween at Yosemite. Well, Rose was going to meet them there too. And Halloween is a big thing to them. This is a time of festival. It is a time that they do their type of worship. And of course, everybody would be in costume, so nobody knows who anybody is. And if you research Yosemite, it actually, the word means in a nutshell, Yosemite means kill everyone, kill them all. So this is a crazy place to decide to have a Halloween get together with some of these van lifers. So I'm not so sure now with it so hot up there with these girls now, they haven't solved that yet. And then I started thinking about the book Annihilation he was reading, and I did a Cliff Notes type. I ain't reading that whole book, but that's basically what happened, the scenario. It's almost like he could have played that out. Just 3 women are in the wilderness and they get killed, and then, he's done his job there and he goes back. But in part of it, he's like subhuman. He's more like he's come back. And because they talk about these dumb humans, they haven't learned yet. So still that links into me with them thinking this alien stuff, that they went to another dimension and come back. But he goes back to Area X. And if Area X, when I Googled, comes up to that place in Florida, which is only a 4.5-hour drive from DeSoto Park. And it's survivable. It's beach area. There's an old lighthouse there. There's a boat ramp there. If you do the live Google, and look at the scenery, it's a place that's survivable and it's close enough somebody could drop food somewhere. But my thing with that is just I really, really think I remember I listened to one interview with somebody that knew him when they were younger.
Somebody asked me, said, "Have you been abducted, ma'am?"
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
No. But I was, my passion, my whole life was doing investigation. I loved it. I went back to college at 50.
Well, let me ask
And
you this: do you believe in aliens, ma'am?
I believe in other beings because I believe God created a universe, and I believe that if He put us here, I'm not going to say He did not put life forms on other planets. But I would call them. I don't look at them as something that would be scary. I look at them more as celestial beings. I do believe that they watch out. I believe that angels. Right now, there's a spiritual war. That's obvious. It's going on right now in this whole world. Is a spiritual war going on, and I believe right now it's going on in the heavens between the fallen angels and the war angels. But it's a time for choosing. I believe that, and we're seeing more and more of this coming to the forefront. And another thing is, I mean, it could have been in our maker's plan, because look how many people in just the past 2 weeks they have found that either dead or missing. And the news don't report this. The news does not. They don't do what they should be doing. They want to harp on the same stuff. Just the other day, I mean, I'm finding stuff on people on YouTube that are. There's one channel dedicated to putting out missing people, and I check that one daily. And there's this boy in Arizona. They haven't found him yet. He's been missing for months now. Tucker Carlson did interview his dad, a young black man, and the boy, they found his Jeep and everything, but they think it was staged because it looked like it had flipped, and no sight of him anywhere. None of his belongings, as far as like his clothes or anything. It wasn't like he was in a wreck. No blood, but they found a.
But they say he did wreck his car. That's what they're saying. He did wreck his car.
He wrecked the Jeep. But the after they investigated, how they'll go and they know how to. They lay out and measure off and this and that, and they're talking about there's no way he flipped that many times, not where he was at. It was almost like somebody intentionally, they got him and then intentionally just wrecked the Jeep to make it look like,
Yeah, but how do you wreck a Jeep? Because it's not like taking a Jeep and then pushing the gas pedal, put something on the gas pedal, and then let it go down an embankment.
Because
it's flat out there. It's flat out there.
Well, no, where he was, there was a lower ravine. That's where they found it. It flipped. And I had a Jeep. Now, I will tell you, they will flip easy if you run off like that. But the damage to it appeared that it looks like he had hit something first. But then they're saying, but it's not, the front end didn't appear like he hit something. It was just a big, the windshield was, how it doesn't shatter, but it crashes in and it was a circle. So, but they have not found this boy yet, and all they found is a human skull, which they've run, and it was not his. And they're finding a lot of human remains, bone-wise, in the desert. So, out in Arizona. But, we got a lot of cartel coming in, too. Arizona's real bad right now with this border stuff. Oh, and one other thing, did you hear the coroner today talk about that he also had the anthropologist? He had somebody from anthropology, and then he called another department, to come in, forensics. Anthropology is to deal with skeletal remains. And if she had laid there 3 to 4 weeks, then most likely, and it's horrible, I mean, it makes me sick to think, but most likely animals or wild bird like buzzards, or, it may be that she was not identifiable. And then I remembered her stepfather said when he laid the stones, he laid them in the place where the torso was, and that he asked what direction was her head, and he planted 2 flowers there. Well, that was off to the side, if you look at the pictures.
Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, now wait just a damn minute. What the hell are you talking about? Some flowers?
Yeah, this was on Dr. Phil, when Dr. Phil interviewed him. Yeah, Dr. Phil, the second time, if you'll go watch that, Jim, who is her stepfather, was the one that was up there.
Yeah, I
And
heard that he went out there. I found it strange her daddy didn't go, and they found that interesting.
well, I'm finding more interest. I'm still investigating him. I do this kind of digging myself.
Okay,
Just
so wait a
myself.
minute. So tell me about the flowers now. Just
Okay.
keep me on board
She
before I fall
loved
off.
she loved yellow flowers and
Okay.
like daisies and moonflower, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But he did go out and he took stones where after they had removed remains and all, he went back out there and where the body was. He asked where was the torso. Well, that was a key to me being the way my mind thinks. Torso instead of body. Where's the torso? That implicated to me perhaps the head wasn't quite attached. Okay. But he said he made the cross from the stones. And then he said, ask what direction was her head lying in. And he said, and I planted two flowers there because she loved these kind of flowers. Well, when it shows pictures of that site, the flowers are tad off to the right. They're not at the top of the cross. So that could be from animals. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of wild animals in these mountains. And if that body laid there for 3 weeks, then of course, there would be scent and animals but anthropology is the study, forensic anthropology is the study of skeletal. So that's probably why it was very hard to identify, and they identified her by the sweatshirt. And I do believe they said the sweatshirt was nearby. In other words, it was not on her. But I'm just telling you things that that's been verified. And but I did find that interesting today when he said about the forensic anthropologist coming in. And then when he did say strangulation today, then I started thinking, well, you've got manual strangulation, you got mechanical strangulation. Mechanical would be using rope or a chain, more like hanging or choking somebody, fish line, whatever. Manual is hands. And then when the hard copy report, we saw this just earlier this evening, it says manual strangulation, and then it has the / throttling. So he choked her, and it takes 10 seconds to somebody could pass out, but he would have had to choke her for a solid 5 to 8 minutes to kill her. No, after she done passed out, just continued to choke her. This is an evil person. This is a person filled with demons. I'm telling you, he's in a dark, dark place. And it almost then makes you wonder, is his mom and dad scared of him? I mean,
Well, maybe he's dead. They put him in the garden. So y'all been talking about y'all stopping his hands. Excuse me. I had to get something to eat because this is too much for me. Maybe they killed their son. How about that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. If they did, there'd be probably a lot of people apologizing to them for throwing laundry baskets all over the yard. But they just. But something that really threw me, and I don't know how. And I say it's by God because I stay in my spiritual talks with Him, and it just seems like sometimes in different things. I mean, even in other things I'm look into, sometimes it just seems like after I do my Bible study and I do my prayer time and all, it just something I've been thinking about.
I already clarified throttling. TG, trust me, she's already explained it to us, honey.
Yeah,
she's already explained it to us before you came here.
And I mean, it can be used in different terms. Bikers do throttling. Well, their throttling means it's still a sexual thing, but it involves a couple people, So, I mean, but it is related to sexual encounter. And he did say that they retrieved DNA. So, I you can kind of put pieces together. I'm sure they don't want to come out and say everything. They always have to leave a little bit up to when they do ever catch him. He's the only one that's going to know specific things. And that's how they'll know he did it. You know, like if he, well, I got scared because I didn't mean to do this or that, and we had sex. Okay, well, they haven't said that. So, there's things they won't release until they get him, because only he would know it. Only the killer will know those things. And that's a part of one reason they don't tell you everything until they have already, captured them and questioned them. But I can't, he is not, I'm going to tell you, he's not a brainiac. He's not a brainiac. Some of the people went to school with him in New York said he really wasn't even light. He got picked on a lot because he was chubby. He was antisocial. He wasn't very smart. There's no way he's eluded law enforcement this long without, he had a strategic plan, and he's just in a very dark place. And I'll tell you, those kind of spirits are very powerful, very powerful. That showed the remorse on that first, and this was right after this happened, that he had put that on there. I'm just so sorry. And she was my light. And it almost makes you wonder if it's not like battling two personalities, that at certain times he gets back in his dark place. It's really, things, they're happening. Charles Manson, I was watching his trial on TV when he looked at a clock and it stopped. So.
Somebody in the chat wants to know, do you think he's still alive, ma'am?
Yes, I do think he's alive. But I really, really, if he's following that book, which he has so far, then they need to go check out St. Mary's, because that's where Area X comes up when you Google it. And I've tried several times to leave these tip lines and nobody ever answers them. So just to tell them, be worth a try. You've searched everywhere else. He ain't in that dadgum marsh out there. They done checked it for, 2 weeks?
Well.
But I just want to share. I'll just share it.
No, he is on the run still, so he knows something. So we can talk about him and make jokes all day, but seriously, he is still on the run, so he's not too
and the thing is, he's on the run. Whatever area he's in, people are not safe. People are not safe when you've got somebody like this out on the loose, and you don't know where he is, And so everybody just guard yourself, be aware of your surroundings. And
like I tell people, desperate people do desperate things. So I don't trust anybody, period. And I don't trust anybody that's on the run, because my thing is, I don't know Brian Laundrie. I do believe he killed the girl. So that's enough for me. He's not somebody I want to sit down and have coffee with in the story.
Yep. Well, I agree with you on that. I do believe 100% he did do it. And it's just, I feel like I get frustrated because I feel like they're chasing their tails down there. And, one other thing, too, we've been through here in a year about police reform, and we do need that, because these police need to realize a domestic violence. And there is a hand signal. Somebody, if they ever do it to you, if you see a woman or man, if they have their hand up and their palm showing and the thumb has been across the palm, okay, like you're doing the Boy Scout thing or whatever, and if they have the hand up like that and they fold their fingers down, that's a sign of distress, of domestic violence. I need help. So if you ever see that, that's what that signal means. And I believe police need to be more aware to look for this, for signs of domestic violence. Be sure they stayed apart that night. They didn't even do that. Those Moab cops dropped the ball big time on this.
Well, they can't follow people around. Come on, you have to be realistic. I tell everybody.
Well, this is true.
You can't follow somebody around. I can tell you, because they could have arrested them. That's their law there. They could have arrested them, but they didn't. But the point is, I can't watch you all night. That's any case. I can't watch you. I can just say, hey, you two need to separate. After that, you let them go. But what I found interesting is 1 hour of filming is ridiculous. You didn't arrest anybody. So what was it? I don't understand. A whole hour of talking is ridiculous to me.
I know. And
then you look at the end result. She's dead.
And why will the national park not release the woman, the female cop's body cam, the National Park Ranger, because she had a one-on-one conversation with Gabby. And she had a body cam, and the Park Service will not release it. Why?
But the whole thing is, Gabby didn't say she was in distress.
Lord have mercy. You done came up out the grave. I'm dead.
No, but what I'm saying is she may have talked to that woman more, being a female, because the woman was talking to her a little bit, about, honey, if you're in a bad situation, you might think about getting out.
I gotta get off this live. You just jumped out like Jason.
Somebody done scared you.
She been up here the whole time. She been quiet. She jumped out like, ding.
Gosh.
And I'm going to see Halloween Kills this week. I'm trying to find somebody to go to the movies with me.
Oh, Lord, no. Well, honey, I can't do it. My heart can't take all that stuff. My boys used to love watching those things.
You've been up here talking about aliens and third dimensions.
Oh, yeah. Well, but I talk about it on a scale of study and astrology in the Bible and Hebrew calendar and things like that. I don't watch these darn scared behind movies because I'm packing. I'd be got scared and my son come in, I'd be shot him. No, no, I'm not watching those.
Was there anything else you want to say, Cindy?
No, baby, y'all just all be blessed. I just kind of wanted to share just some of the things I've kind of documented, and you can go and find that document. It has been released.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sweetie, y'all have a good night.
You too. Be careful. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Cindy. Hello. Okay, listen. I did want to say
I've been listening. Did you not realize that?
In defense, I think I heard her say,
you all have a good night.
Hold on. In defense, I heard her say something about her father.
I can't do this.
Listen. Let me tell you why the dad didn't go. Let me tell you why.
Good luck. I'm about this.
Listen, y'all. Hold on. And this is a good theory. Okay. The stepdad is a New York firefighter. I believe that's why this story got so much press too, because firefighters in New York, they are a huge entity. And he went to help look, and I bet you he took some of his fellow firefighters, and they are used to seeing this kind of stuff. I believe that's why he was on the ground, feet on the ground, and went, because I heard them say we knew he was the only one that can handle this situation. And I believe that. And I believe that she probably wouldn't have gotten that much press if he wasn't a New York firefighter. I was thinking about that a long time ago, because I was wondering too, why come her daddy didn't go? How come it got so much press? But when I found out, I put two and two together. He's a New York firefighter. He had him and his fellow brothers, and they was on that flight, and they was there. They see dead, burnt, cut up. They see all that kind of stuff all the time. And stepfather is not blood, but he still loved her, but he was still in a better place to handle that than the actual blood parents. And that's what I think. Anybody else think so too?
Yeah, there's people agreeing.
So that's why I think, I think the dad was just his, in the blind. He may have had some flags. Hell, my daddy had some flags, but if I didn't say nothing to him, he wasn't going to mention it.
Hey, Susan, how you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Minnesota. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sure you never get that question first.
What?
Can you hear me?
After what I've just heard, nothing is off the table on this channel, as you can see. What do you have to say about the ruling of the strangulation, ma'am?
Well, I was just thinking, obviously it's sad. No matter how she died, it was...
No matter how, right. No matter how.
Yeah. But I was just thinking about the whole, I heard this somewhere else today, and I was dumbfounded, I guess.
Wait, hold on. You said what now?
I heard something earlier today that I was struck by is,
Okay.
you know, how the lawyer came out.
Yeah, that
Quite
because that's
quickly.
to me that's very disrespectful to talk about. He's only been charged with fraud. Well, we already know that. What's your point?
Right. And I wonder, well, and that he's only a person of interest, blah, blah, blah.
Well, he was
After,
downplaying that she died. To me, that's my opinion.
yeah. Yeah. But I wonder, I guess my question is, when did Christopher Laundrie go out to the reserve to quote unquote help?
I believe that was what, Thursday? Somewhere in there, Wednesday or Thursday.
I make that connection because I wonder if, I guess this report actually got not filed, but written on the 5th. Have you heard that?
So what now, huh?
The coroner actually wrote the cause of death as of the 5th of October.
The 5th of October. Okay, so you said
Yeah.
over a week ago.
Yeah.
So where are
And
you
so
going with this?
So I'm wondering, like, okay, then was it the next day or the next 2 days that Christopher went out to the, you know, reserve to, again, quote unquote, help?
Yeah, but he wouldn't know he wouldn't know that though. He would not know anything that's going on in Wyoming, because you got to remember, these people don't care about anything. So how would he know what the hell's going on in Wyoming?
Well, I mean, the father would. I'm wondering if there a connection with, did the FBI say something to the father to kind of?
Well, you know they
say,
can't
this
do
is
that. But you know they can't do that.
okay. I wasn't sure if they could or not, or if something was.
No, you know the FBI
flipped
is
or
not going
whatever.
to tell nothing. It don't matter
Okay.
who said something yesterday, today. When I go to you, I'm not getting ready to say nothing about what Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba said, because I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Now, can I lie? Yes, of
Yeah.
course. If it's to get you to confess or divulge information, of course.
That's what I wondered, is if it was a strategy to kind of get more information on Brian. You know, hey,
But see, that
this is
point
coming
is,
down the pipe.
I'm not going to tell you nothing about my son. I've already aided him. Why am I going to tell you anything about my son? That's why that whole thing was a ruse, because originally he was supposed to went the day before, but didn't. Then he ended up getting picked up, whatever went. So there's some discrepancy about why day one he was supposed to go, didn't go. Then they had closed it or some mess. For some reason they said he couldn't go. Then the next day he's going. And then think about this. Why am I getting ready to take you to where I think my son camped? There's no way in hell he would know exactly where Brian camped before. As big as the reserve is, it's 25,000 acres. There's no way I could see that he would exactly know where his son would camp, because one, you'd have to have gone with him when he went camping every time. Yeah. See where I'm going?
Yeah.
So how can I point out where I think you would camp? See, this is all a bunch of bull.
I completely agree, and I was just grasping at straws of, like, you know, I'm sure at that point they were like, there's nothing here, this was all a ruse.
Yeah, but I want to know why they continuously stayed there when you saw you weren't coming up on nothing. But once again, that's a lot of acres to cover, and you know it's marshy and a lot of, you know, terrain. So he could be anywhere. Hell, he could have been ran over by all them boats that was jumping in there. So you understand what I'm saying? It's a lot to cover.
Yeah,
it's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But at some point, we were getting bored.
Yeah.
You know, where is he? He's there, he's not. Why are you there, actually? Are you there because that's where they told you? That's how I'm looking at it. You're only there because the parents told you that's where he went. But let's do the math. FBI has already released a statement. They don't have their original telephones. They only have the phone he left behind, which is the new phone. Now ask yourself why the hell you would leave a new phone you just hooked up.
Right.
Stay woke.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh, anytime, honey. Anything else you want to say, sweetheart?
No, just that, again, I think there's going to be so much more if we ever get to court. If it ever gets there, there's going to be so much that's going to come out. I think it's going to blow all of our minds of like, and I'm sure the FBI did have to investigate the reserve, but I agree completely that I think was just to throw them
they're
off
going.
so
They're
that they
going.
could get further away.
The news is banking off of the comments from the parents, which anybody with sense would say these are the last two people I'm getting ready to listen to.
Yeah.
Because what you have to ask yourself is this: the police. I'm getting ready to go on my community post and pull up some stuff I've posted. The police say they were watching him. Well, then what have we been talking about for the past month then?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me he walked out, got in the car, father, mother, whomever, Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba, Shamiqua, he went to the reserve, parked his car, and left, and he's nowhere to be found almost a month in? Make it make sense.
Yeah, and I will say, not to take up too much of your time here, but
No, you're fine.
I think one that I struggled too with is somebody had come out with, they took a picture of him during like the 17th or what they thought was him.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why didn't that person like stop him? Or
Yeah, you had no right. You had no right. You had no right. You had no right.
Yeah.
You had no right.
I don't know.
But you got to remember, we didn't know anything. See?
I think at that point, though, you at least know who he was. At least the people in the neighborhood, I would think, would be like, because I think that was the 17th that they took that photo. I don't know.
Look, Queen, somebody in the chat, I'm sorry, said they looking for the phones. They can get the transcripts. They don't need those actual phones.
Yeah, but that's just a part of investigation. Where are the phones? That's just common sense.
I mean, where are the phones? But they don't need the phones because they can get the transcripts.
But I gotta know who the carrier is. I gotta do all that old investigative stuff. It's just easier if I say, hell, where's the damn telephone? Because then I got to go to your phone to see who called you. And then I got to now do a trace to see who the carrier is. Now you follow me?
They better not be that damn dumb, okay?
I'm not saying they dumb, but I'm just saying it's easier if I have the phone. It's easier if I have the phone. Come on now. It is easier if I got the phone.
But come on.
If I call the number, you don't know what numbers, a phone number, who the carrier of a number is by the number. Only
I know,
in this area know. Cricket numbers start with 454 in our jurisdiction, 455. Then it goes into some other numbers that they've brought over the years, but they're not going to know all that.
If they need the phones, they need to go back to FBI school.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not hating about that. They just made a note just saying we don't have those phones. That's all they said.
Yeah, and if you look at,
they trying to tell us because they don't have the phones, they can't find it. They can't.
No, I don't take. Oh my God. I don't take it like that.
I said them.
They're just speaking, saying we only have the one phone, which is the new phone, but we don't have Gabby Petito's original phone or Brian Laundrie's original phone. I don't take it as they can't do the work on the phone, because common sense will tell you they can pull up the records to see who the carrier is. Just by going into pulling up the number. The FBI has those type of tools. They probably can pull it up Johnny on the spot. Oh, the carriers, AT&T, Metro, whomever, T-Mobile, whatever.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, in my vast knowledge of watching the first 48, you're right, it is easier to get it off the direct phone because don't you have, and I'm sure it's different with the FBI versus.
Yeah, because all your information is on your phone.
Right. And
everything.
If your local law enforcement can only get it through the company, which they have to get authorization from, which takes weeks.
All of that extra stuff. All of that extra stuff.
I'll let somebody else come on.
It's work doing phone tagging for those probably that don't know. Because you got to think about people who text all damn day long. Because some of you text all damn day. Just imagine pulling up all the records of every damn body you done text, who texted you, your emails. Man, that's a job in itself.
Oh yeah, all that paperwork is a lot. All that researching, I know it.
Because I know anybody that's working this case, they've been drunk every night.
Every night, and they ain't had no sleep either. I bet you everybody got bags under their eyes. Because I do.
Jesus Christ.
Well, and I'm sure that those people like that, for benefit of the doubt, the people that went on the reserve, the FBI or whatever, I'm sure they came home every night going, "What the hell?"
Yep.
They were toe up drunk. That's what they were doing.
Thanks
I work
again,
for the
Alex.
government. I work for the government, but I'm smoking tonight because damn, I'm tired of looking at these paperwork. All these text
I mean,
messages.
it's hard. It's hard looking at all that data and putting together all that stuff. And it's hard work trying to find stuff. Trust me, I know. I do it all day long. It's hard work. And I don't envy them at all. And, as quiet as it's kept, that's probably what they're doing because they can't get the phones. Don't have the phones. So they're trying to get all of that data and transcripts together. Because like I said,
it's a lot.
They don't want no holes.
You're gonna be getting other people's phones.
Yeah. They don't want no holes. They want
all the text messages from other people that talk to them. It's a lot of work.
Exactly. They want to come with the big guns when they get his little you know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
No half stepping for them because this is serious. They made a big deal of this. And so, I mean, do you know how many investigators and how many people getting ready to get promotions and all this when they break this case? So they trying to bust it wide open. It's gotten too much publicity, and this is what's going to happen.
Interesting. Very interesting. Very.
I mean, hey, he might be on the run forever.
Well, if it was planned carefully, could be.
And I believe he's scared
to death. Quality. How much evidence do you know that they left behind? How you know how much evidence is left behind? Let's just say her body was in pieces, as somebody said. You don't know if they got an arm, a foot, a leg. You don't know if the coyotes got to her, cougars, or what.
I believe they did. I believe.
Just imagine if all you got is a torso or just a leg. You don't know. If a sweatshirt was 2 paces up, 5 feet over somewhere in a damn tree. I don't know.
Yep, I believe wildlife got her, and I believe a certain amount of bugs.
Nobody knows.
I believe a certain amount of bugs. That's why they sent them off.
4 weeks. It's a long time.
It is. It is. I believe she was in bad shape.
Okay. Sad.
It really is. It really is. And in my lifetime, I've got a chance to see those type of things, and I wouldn't want to have that job.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know the different stages. And that's I wouldn't have wanted her parents to see her like that. Her mother and father, the ones that gave birth, the ones
they have to because they have to identify, so they have to do that.
Well, that's why the stepfather did. He said that he did it, and he.
But I'm just saying somebody had to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying her mama wouldn't have been able to take that. Her mama wouldn't have been able to handle that. No. Nope. But I bet you, like she said, she was able to watch the video all the way through because she wanted to see everything as a mother. She wanted to see everything that took place on that video. Daddy didn't want to see that. Daddy would have been going out somewhere looking with a shotgun if he'd have watched that video. He admitted, I can't look at the video of her crying and him. He said he mentioned before Gabby would get him all the time when she'd start crying and carrying on. He couldn't handle it. So no, real daddy wouldn't have been able to handle that. I can tell that he's trying to keep his kill composure together. Because he probably wants to do some things to them parents.
Well, honey, they probably will have a cremated if they don't have all of the body parts. Come on, y'all. You know that. It's messed up.
Oh, I'm sure cremation will be an option for them because they, for one, they seem like the type of family that will want her in an urn close to them. And that's sad. That's so messed up. And like I said, I don't care why he did it now because he did it.
There's
And
no reason. That's why it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
don't ever think about the motive and this and that. And that's where we get all befuddled, always worrying about why. You don't ask why because your mind can take you far out into the unknown and the ridiculousness of it all. Choking is personal. See, it's not like I popped off, shot you. Can't take it back and shot you. Gotta wait to see if you're gonna live or not. Choking, you have time to stop. See, that's the thing about choking someone. You have time to say, okay, their eyes are rolling back in their head, they're bleeding, their nose is bleeding. See where I'm going? Okay, I better stop.
And they wasn't having sex.
And that's the point.
They just got
I
through
don't
fighting.
want to hear nothing about that shit, man. See, I started talking ignorant. I don't want to hear nothing about no damn sex.
Girl, they wasn't.
I refuse to believe that because he was so damn angry.
Yeah.
I believe she died on the 27th. They left that place. He probably was cussing and fussing in the van.
The whole way.
Giving it back. She's giving it back to him.
Yep.
They pulled over to the site wherever they were. He got out. She got out. They probably still was fussing. Then boom, here comes the touching of the neck, the throat. It's on the pop and it's over with.
Yep.
So
yeah, they was too angry to be having makeup sex that soon.
Yeah, that's why I told somebody. I don't know how in the world you thought they went and set up camping. Well, she died right near the campsite, and you don't know that. You don't know anything because you weren't there. I hate when people do that. Act like you were there. You weren't there. You know, they can't even get the damn date right. So how the hell you gonna say they set up camp?
Right.
You ain't got a date. We're only assuming it's the 27th because the girl with the GoPro is saying that's when she filmed going by the damn van was the 27th. And then the people at the restaurant, the girl is saying, oh, that's the day he was showing out in the place on the 27th.
Right. So the 27th, they were having lunch or whatever at that place at 2 something is what I read and heard or whatever the girl said.
Irene, really? He was impotent? Okay, I'm out of here. Y'all just making up shit.
And so 3 hour, what is it, 30 miles? How long does it take to drive 30 miles? Because they said they saw the van at 6 something.
They ain't got nothing else to say.
How long does it take to drive 30 miles?
Over 30 minutes.
Okay. So the van was seen apparently at 6 something. So no telling how long. So if they was 30 minutes away, over 30 minutes away from the place, no telling how long they were there at that spot when those people pulled up. It's just all bad. It's all bad. And, at first I tried to give the parents the benefit of the doubt, but I really can't because first of all, I didn't tell my son, I said, don't you ever come and tell me you did nothing like this because I'm turning your black, you know what in. You're not going to come and tell me that you done choke somebody, you kill somebody, even accidentally. You're not going to come tell me that because you're going to tell the people that. You're not going to come tell me. I'm not going to be an accessory. The people are not going to be knocking on my doors, putting cameras in my face, all outside, standing around talking about your son. I already got a girl calling talking about your son got me pregnant and he won't take the DNA test. I don't want nobody talking about he killed them and standing outside and putting up signs and carrying on because he didn't kill somebody. No. So you got to be crazy to want to sit up and deal with that. And I bet you they're going to end up running them up out of there. They're going to have to go stay in one of them condominiums they bought. Them people are going to go crazy. They are.
Well, we will see. Well, thank you, Reese Black.
Yes, ma'am. I'm getting ready to go to sleep.
All right. Well, you have a good night, okay?
All right, ma'am.
All right, honey. Bye-bye. I want to thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $began129 Cash App. It's a wrap for me. I've had enough of this foolishness. Thank the mods on deck. Thank you for your hospitality. Those tuning in to the Queen, your commentary, blah blah blah. But there's too much foolishness going on for me, and I done told you all I don't play with kids. Some of you just too childish for me. Yeah, I'm going to say it because I don't have time for the foolishness. It's like every live, it's the same old shenanigans, and you try to be diplomatic and let everybody give the content. But I see it's just a no-go for me. I've had just about enough. I've had just about enough. Yeah, well, they can go crazy somewhere else because I can get all that off these two big flat screens that sit up in this place. Guess what? I can get all the crazy I want, fiction and nonfiction. Hello, yes, I can. No, thank you. Thank you all for joining me. When I get more information pertaining to the Petito laundry case, I will upload it to my community post, and I will bring you said information pertaining to the case. And as I told you all on my community post yesterday, marked 2 years that Camille McKinney went missing out of a housing project in Birmingham, Alabama. Please go into my YouTube library and pull up my information pertaining to the disappearance of Camille McKinney. And then later she was found in a construction dumpster in a vacant housing apartment complex next to where the suspects were staying. And those two have not gone to trial yet. Derica Brown and Patrick Stallworth, a Black couple living outside of Birmingham, Alabama. They have yet to go to trial. I do not know what is taking so long. Many of us have been questioning why. We thought last year they were going to go to trial, but naturally COVID came about in the spring of 2020. So that would have been October 2020. So naturally things were still up in the air with COVID. So I'm praying that they get a jump start because it's now 2 years into this case, and it's time for these two to go to court. I like to get an ending to that case. I really do. But if you want to check out my content pertaining to Camille McKinney, please go into my library from 2 years ago. I have a lot of content on the story, and that was probably my first real true crime case I covered on this channel, and that's how my name got out there on YouTube, was covering the case of Camille McKinney, Cupcake. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been an interesting ride tonight. Very interesting. But nonetheless, this woman is dead. She died by the hands of this man. I do believe he killed her. His actions after the fact shows me that he killed her. He has no remorse for her. His parents have no remorse for what he did to Gabby Petito. And that's enough for me. You see, I'm old school. I go by how you act. See, he ain't said nothing, so I got to go by how he acts. And so far, he's showing me he's guilty. And anybody that'll steal money from a dead woman's credit card, you don't need to ask nothing else. The writing's on the wall. I did it because I could. That's why they tell you stop asking why. The reason is never going to be good enough because you didn't have any business taking her life. I did it because I could. And then I stole her money. Did you get that part? That's what he's telling us. I stole her money, and then my mom and daddy helped me go on the run, and you still can't find me. I keep trying to tell y'all, you best stay woke. You think he's a flim-flam, he's goofy, he's immature. He can be all those things, but guess what? You ain't found him. See, that's the part you're missing. You ain't found him. Because he had help. And the laundries, your day is coming too. You better pray like hell. Not one of them crazy ass alligator chasing ass folks down there don't do something to one of y'all down there. This is why I kept telling everybody to stay away from the laundry's house because it's dangerous going on people's private property. Let Ellie solve this case and get the ball rolling. But with everybody flipping off, going off, somebody down there in Gator Town is going to get hurt. Somebody is going to get hurt. And it'll be sad that somebody ends up dead all because of this buffoon killing this girl and then going on the run and leaving his parents to hold the bag. And they foolishly obliged Brian Laundrie. So that's on them. But it still be sad nonetheless. Somebody else ends up hurt. This is not a game. This is real life. He snuffed that girl out. And now everybody's going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs down there on that street. You see, old saying, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you guys later. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Have a great week.